Hey guys, what's up? It's Slickshot Games here, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going over one of the bigger updates that Valve has done to CS:GO recently, and for 3/13/2019. And there's a lot of great changes, a lot of new things I'm going to be discussing here, and I think this will have rippling effects on the pro scene, the meta overall, and just I think it'll make watching the game a lot more interesting as well as playing it. So without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to be talking about the biggest, or one of the bigger changes of this update, the M4A1s update. So if you're not aware, recently that the meta has overall, between the M4A4 and the M4A1s, has shifted toward the M4A4 for the past year or so, or whatever. In the pro scene, just M4A1s was always seen as it's a more accurate gun, but the way Valve was essentially trying to balance it was the M4A1s had a smaller clip and a smaller reserve size to 20, and the fire rate was way slower, but it was way more accurate. So I think a lot of people saw it as a very punishing weapon, or a punishable weapon. It was it was risky to have over the M4A4 because the M4A4 had so much more ammo. You could unload it more, just unload it at will, basically, not really care about ammo. And the fire rate, most importantly, the fire rate was way faster on the M4A4. So all the pros essentially just shifted to the M4A4, and that's how it's been for the longest time. This is a huge change they've had recently to the M4A1s that will now, I think it'll change it and make it go more into the meta, and start to compete more with the M4A4, because you didn't see it that much prior to this. So the M4A1s now has 75 bullets in the reserve and holds 25 bullets in the magazine. So it's much, now you got more free reign. Now you can unload it more. The 5 bullets makes a huge difference. And I think that you're going to be seeing more pros hold it, more pros use it. It definitely is a very satisfying and fun gun to use and watch, so it'll be great. It also could have little underlying kind of changes. People, because it's a silenced weapon, you could see more sneakier plays, more different play styles with it as you see it more in the pro scene. So I think definitely it'll be fun to see, and see more sneakier plays and things like that. So I think, and you can unload in smokes more and not be as punished, I guess, for unloading. You'll still have enough bullets to make it, to get multiple kills and spray down. So I think it's a good, nice change, and we'll just have to see how it affects the overall game. So the second change, another big change, was the economy system. So with the economy system, and you can look at really in-depth videos on it, and it's still something that people still to this day don't really get it that much. But the nature of the game was always you'd be punished for winning after consecutive losses prior to that. So you'd lose a lot, and then you'd win one round, but then the next round you lose again, you're reset. So a lot of the game's momentum would just change and shift, and in the pro scene you get a lot of saves, double saves, things like this. It slows the overall tempo of the game, as there's only 3 or 4 total gun rounds in a half, and that's the action you want to see. You want to see gun rounds. You don't want to see just eco frags all the time. So I think that they're changing it so that with 0 losses, like your first loss, you get 1,400. You lose it'll start to string. So the next loss, you get 900. With 2 losses, you get 2,400. With 3 losses, 2,900, and with 4+ losses, 3,400. So as you lose more, the money goes higher and higher. It'll start to string, and it'll get a little bit more. And this will allow you to have a little bit more of a buffer, I feel. You'll be able to get more buy rounds, and on a reset, so to speak, when you win a bunch of rounds when you lose a bunch of rounds and then you win, you'll have a little bit of buffer money. And I think that and previously a win would reset the round loss bonus. Now a win reduces the loss counter by 1. teams still begin the half with a loss count of 1. So I think this will definitely allow for more gun rounds and less double saving and less things like that. And I think that's great for the pro scene, that's great for the meta, and that's great for overall everything, because who likes to be saving all the time, you know? So I think that's a very good change. Now, speaking of money, the next change is the AUG and the shotguns as well, but we'll be discussing about the AUG. The AUG was a very polarizing weapon as well, especially in the pro scene. Its price had been lowered and to nearly that of an M4A4, and as more pros used it, they realized, wait, this is better than an M4A4. It's more accurate, powerful, has a scope. It's more of a mid-rangey, long-range. It's like a mix between an M4 and an OP, in a way, some would argue. So it definitely became a polarizing issue. People called it OP, way too cheap. Full CT-sided teams would have just all AUGs, and it just felt like such a many times it could have felt like an overpowered weapon for the cost. So now they did bring the price back to its original price of $3,300, which but I feel like now that the meta had been shifting into the AUG kind of scenario, it is still cheaper than an OP, so you may see some pros still want to stick with it. Of course, it'll be harder on the economy and it'll be riskier, I guess, buying it, but I think that you'll be seeing maybe some pros take it over an OP potentially. You know, it still it still could be a gun to look out for. I don't think it'll be completely deleted because of this. I still think that some pros might want to hold on to it if they have the money to kind of splurge a little bit for an AUG. But yeah, so yeah, it was definitely a polarizing issue, but I think I do definitely agree with the change. There had to be a change. When a weapon is being used of this caliber, just basically replacing, for example, the M4A4 on many teams, it's something to look out for. So I do agree with the change. You know, some pros, specifically Fallen, are saying that the AUG should be $3,400. So it's still, you know, people still are having their fair share of, you know, issues with the weapon. Now, shotguns, the next thing. I'm excited for this one. The shotguns have always been, they're not really used at all. Let's just say that much. They're rarely used in the pro scene. Occasionally you'd see a mag, maybe an auto shotty, but overall you would rarely, you know, they don't come out very much because of just the nature of the game. CS, I mean, it's the range. Very disadvantaged at long range positions when you're retaking sites and get a little bit, if your CT, say, holding close and they hit the other bomb site, it could be very difficult to retake and things like that. So it was always people would opt for pistols, like a deagle, over a shotty because of the range. So, I mean, but now they're reducing the cost of the Nova to $1,050. They're reducing the cost of the sawed-off to $1,100 and reducing the price of Mag 7 to $1,300. They did a little bit of changes to some of the guns. So the Nova penetration has been increased to 1. And the sawed-off range has been increased to 1,400. Now that these shotguns have been tweaked, their pricing, I'm excited to see pros and many people, myself included, take out the shotgun. It's always cool, just the idea of it. And with these pros that are just insane with their aim and their reaction time, just seeing mow downs of shotguns is so satisfying, and you don't see it very often with Novas and sawed off. So I want to see more unorthodox plays, you know, T's with sawed offs. I mean, it's only a T-sided weapon, but just T's opting to use the sawed off. So that's something I really look forward to, and yeah, I mean, I like that they didn't touch the auto shotty. Auto shotty is fine where it's at. It doesn't need to be changed. I think it's a fair weapon to have. So one of the final big changes they did was the introduction of the flashbang icon and flashbang assists on the kill feed. So say you are near your teammate and you do a pop flash, it gets the enemies, they peek, get the kills, you will show up on the kill feed as having assisted with flash, and there'll be your name will be on the kill feed and there'll be a little flash icon. So it's giving credit to those who aren't essentially getting the kill but are assisting and getting the kill. So some people felt prior to this that they did assist in getting the kill, but they didn't really get credited. But I don't think anybody was making a huge issue about this. It had been showing up on HLTV as a thing where you could see who assisted with the flash and stuff, but now it's actually being implemented into the game. So it definitely is, it's a good thing, but it also causes many issues. Pros and among other people are definitely saying that it can reveal information, and to argue that it's worth giving that information to simply credit a person supporting a play, I don't think those really counteract each other. I don't really think that one is worth the other, because let me explain. So in terms of giving information, when you flash the enemy and the teammate gets a kill, you show up on the feed, but that reveals to the other Ts that there is somebody there with you. So I don't think in a 5v5 situation near the beginning of the round, or say you get an early pick, is that detrimental, because unless there's a certain situation where you're trying to avoid a certain player overall, say there's you feel like there's an insane top frag or something, and they get the pop blast assist or something, you don't want to go to that area. I guess that's a rare exception, but overall I think that if you do get an early pick with a flashbang or something, a kill, assist, whatever, I think it's safe to assume that there's going to be at least two people on each side or something like that. So it shouldn't really come to a shocker that, there's two people in this area. But I feel as the numbers gets lower, 3v3, 3v2, things like that, and the CTs or Ts, whatever, they take a risk, they stack something. I'm sorry, specifically the CTs, they stack something and they do opt to use a pop flash. That could reveal to the Ts that, oh, there's two people on this side, or there's three people on this side, or something like that, and it can just start, giving away a lot of information. With the teammates who aren't affected by the pop flash kill will start getting information on this, and I think that it can definitely be an issue, and I don't think anybody's really going to go crazy if they remove this feature. I think that many people, and especially in the pro scene, they should solely make it a spectator thing. Only spectators should be able to see this this thing, because it is an interesting, it's a cool informational thing they can add to the kill feed. I do agree with that, but it should be a spectator thing only. It shouldn't be, the players in game should not be seeing this, and I don't think anybody's going to go crazy if they remove this feature, nor do I feel like people, especially in the pro scene, feel as if they're uncredited. Yes, support flashes and support plays like that are so essential, but I don't think, especially in the pro scene, that statistics and are going to be something in their mind. They're not going to per se going to go crazy or be, on tilt that they didn't get credited for this. I think that at that level, maybe ADR, but not even. I think just winning the round and going on a play-to-play basis, I think is so much more essential than just looking at the scoreboard kill feed numbers. Overall, I think that it should be a spectator thing only. Or alternatively, if you only show the flashbang on the kill feed for your own team, only your team can see it. So I think that it definitely would help. The enemy should not be seeing these assists. You and your team, or the spectator solely, could see this. So, all right, besides a new case they released as well, I don't think that needs to be covered per se, but I think overall, though, I think I covered everything that's really notable in this update. So I think that it is an exciting update. I think that we are going to be, hopefully that'll make CS even a little bit faster paced with the buys. I think hopefully we'll see more unorthodox things with the shotties, M4A1s, but you can only speculate. We got to see how this really is implemented into the esports area of the game. So thanks for watching. Please let me know what you guys think of the update. If I missed anything, if you agree, disagree, respectfully tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all the support, and I'll see you guys next week.